Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today, bringing you guys and gals One Piece chapter reviews. Today, One Piece chapter 796 review. Of course, if you haven't seen the live reaction to the chapter yet, in this corner right here, yeah, ayo, annotation right there, as well as the link in the box below. Now, when it comes to this week's chapter of One Piece, whoa. First of all, the chapter is very simple, very straightforward. And honestly, when it comes to story progression, there are a few things that do help move the story along. I'll keep it real. But we are still in Dressrosa. Dressrosa is not over yet. The longest running arc in One Piece by far is still going on. And I don't see us leaving Dressrosa until like chapter 799. And that's like a month away, essentially. Granted, that's assuming that Oda is not going to have any breaks until then. Now, because you know Oda, he can have fucking 2 breaks and shit. You're like, God damn it, Oda. We're still in Dressrosa and it's fucking October. It's like shit. So, here's the thing. Number one, story-wise, I gotta say this. There were, again, a few bits that moved the story along, despite being in the same arc. Number one, Sengoku and Tsurudu entrance. Now, Tsurudu, she looks the same, obviously, but it's Sengoku who is, we're seeing him for like the first time in post-time skip, essentially. And we did see him in the Film Z movie. However, the Film Z movie, as far as I understand, is not canon. So it doesn't really count, per se. But we're going to see him for the first time in manga, and he has the white hair going on. He looks good. Keep it real, he looks good. He looks still imposing, still intimidating, because you know at any second he can Buddha up. But I guess the way of saying it is that he appears to be more wise, because he looks much older. Like, he looks like a hermit, alright? He looks like a sage, like that type of thing right there. That's all I'm saying. So, the next thing is, if you really do care about it, you have Mancherry, and she's using her powers in a different way with the Dandelions, how she's taking the blood of the Marines, making Dandelions, so then she could actually use them to, people can actually grab them from like some type of like bucket or case of some kind, and they can heal their wounds via that method. And that was kind of fascinating, how again, she was using the blood of the Marines to actually create the Dandelions. Then you have Monkey D! Luffy! He wakes up, and he kind of wakes up. Because he's sleeping, while he's eating, while he's sad, while he wants to hurry up. It's like all these things going on like one go. And Zoro's like, dude, make up your fucking mind. I don't know what the hell you're doing. You're going batshit insane. Alright, like you would think at some point, Luffy, in the midst of all that shit, have like a Joker smile face, and here we go. Like you would think it was that type of insane going on. But no, it's just Luffy. It's just classic Luffy. And essentially, he hears the news from Kiros that he's spreading the rumor around that King Riku has accepted. Essentially, Rebecca, her father's not Kiros, but it's some prince in a far-off land, in a galaxy far, far away. Alright, his name was fucking Vader. He was damn royalty. And Luffy, he ain't buying that shit. He ain't buying that shit. What the fuck is this? No. That is a load of shit. And when he's staring at Kiros, it was a very funny scene in the chapter. He's staring at Kiros like fucking, like nigga, what? And he's eating the bread, and then you have Zoro and Usopp. They're like, yo, you ain't buying a fucking word, man. Because Kiros is doing this for the betterment of Rebecca. He's saying that essentially momentary pleasure will not overcome, or should not be more than a lifetime of happiness. That's what he's saying essentially. And it makes sense. It does make sense. But at the same time, will Rebecca actually have a lifetime of happiness if the people around her believe that her father was some prince instead of the strongest gladiator in all of Dressrosa? So my thing here, okay, well, before I get to that, and then finally, at the end of the chapter, for story progression, essentially, Fujitora is now on the move. Luffy and company, they finally start to leave Dressrosa. They're finally on the way leaving. However, Luffy himself wants to go do something else. And I was like, oh shit. So that's going to probably take up at least 2 chapters. He's going to do something else. Probably say bye to Rebecca or Viola or whatnot. He's going to say bye to someone probably. Because, you know, Rebecca was the one that gave him that, you know, the bento. And by definition, in his mind, she's a nice girl. And that's really it. That's really it. So, here's the thing. Number one, I'm not too sure if it was actually necessary to have that whole Kiros changing Rebecca's lineage so she can be so like the royalty in her is legitimate. That to me, I don't think that was necessary at all. I think that the people of Dressrosa, even though Kiros has a shaky past, is it really necessary for Oda to put in that, you know, little caveat right there, like, oh yeah, like we have to change her history, and we have to spend like a few pages on that, so we can understand that it has to be done. Like, I don't think it has to be done at all, honestly, because it would still be fine for the people to know that Kiros is Rebecca's father, because he is reviewed as a hero. He's a hero among the populace of Dressrosa. He is the strongest gladiator. And the fact that, I mean, for Christ's sake, he has a fucking statue in the goddamn Coliseum, a huge ass statue. So, like, I don't think it was necessary at all. I really don't. I really don't. The next thing is, when it comes to Fujitora, so he's obviously on the move, alright? Fujitora is gonna do some crazy shit. That's fairly obvious. And I'm hoping that when it comes to the involvement of Sengoku and Tsurudu, I want them to stay out of the picture. I really do. We've seen what Sengoku do. And Tsurudu, we've gotten hints here or there. But Fujitora has been holding back fucking, like, massively. And I'm like, dude, I want to see what this guy can do. I really want to see what Fujitora is. Like, how, like, what he can do when he's serious. So, when it comes to Tsurudu, because she is a vice admiral by status, she's probably going to take action. However, Sengoku is an inspector. Yes, he's former fleet admiral, but he's an inspector. I don't think Sengoku has to do anything, honestly. I mean, he was very happy with the idea of staying out of the whole thing between Fujitora and Akainu. And I get the notion that he's kind of laid back in this regard. I mean, like, he's very similar to Aokiji in that standpoint, if you haven't realized it. Like, a lot of times Sengoku, he'll take, like, the laid back approach, if he can. So, I think more or less he is going to just stay back and let this unfold. Because the duty did fall upon Fujitora to actually capture Luffy and Law, or kill Luffy and Law. And that duty was given to him by Akainu, the actual current fleet admiral. So, Tsurudu, since she's a vice admiral, she may be actually, you know, do something. But Sengoku, I'm not too sure about Sengoku. And even still, I want them to stay out because I want to see more Fujitora action, honestly. Because there's no more birdcage now. If you're gonna have, imagine Luffy and company, like, they get on the boat after you have guys like Sai and Cavendish, like, they back them up and whatnot. They get on the boat and then they're, you know, going to Zou. And Fujitora is fucking raining down colossal meteorites. Like, that'll be the kind of shit I fucking want. Like, what if Fujitora has, like, 15 ships, and he levitates them all? All these gigantic fucking Navy battleships, and he's levitating them all, chasing after them. Like, that's the kind of shit I want to fucking see. And if you have Sengoku there and Tsurudu there, they take the spotlight from Fujitora. So, let him stay back, right? Let him stay back. It's fine. It's cool. And then there's that thing with Rebecca, that little thing with Rebecca, where essentially she's now wearing a dress as opposed to her usual armor. And you had the maid, she was there. She essentially said that women look better in dresses than armor. And after seeing Rebecca's armor, essentially many men would disagree with that statement. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it real here, alright? Rebecca's armor was special, alright? And it was more appealing to the eye. So, let me keep it at that. Alright? When she says that women look better in dresses, that's very subjective, alright? You can't take that as fact. This is not fact. fact, alright? Just saying. And the last thing I want to say is this, alright? I want to talk about Oda's transition from the last chapter to this chapter. Essentially, chapters 794 and 5 to this chapter. And I also throw in chapter 793, just so I can make the point even stronger. So, the transition between the last chapter and this chapter, I think, is one of the faults in Oda's writing. Yes, it's a part of the One Piece blueprint. It's a part of the One Piece formula. But I don't think it's a good part of the blueprint, of the formula of One Piece. I honestly believe that. Because when you, and let me talk about it in stages here. When you when you look at chapter 793, that was a very emotional, high expectation, hyped chapter. So that was probably around a stage, if 10 being the highest in hype, in expectations and emotions, and 1 being the lowest, that was probably around, let's say, an 8 or a 9. And then we go a little bit down. That's the key thing. We go a little bit down when it comes to the next chapter. So now we're around, let's say, a 7 or an 8 in chapter 794 with the Sabo flashback. And then after that, you have the previous chapter where you have not only Sanji, and as a Sanji fanboy, the relief, just the sheer, man, like, it was so refreshing just seeing Sanji again, seeing Brook and Nami and Chopper and what they're doing. But you also had Kid, you had Hawkins, you had Apu, you had Mad Monk and what's going on with him, and then of course you had Kaido. Kaido falling down 10,000 meters. Motherfucker just fell. 10,000 meters. The hype, the expectations, they were massive. They were huge. You were at a 10. No doubt about it. Maybe a 9. But me, I was at a 10, bro. An obvious 10. And it was also very beneficial for the overall story of One Piece. Because these are events that supersede Dressrosa. But what does Oda do in the next chapter of One Piece? He goes right back to Dressrosa. And it's not like the Sabo flashback, where that's actually fairly important outside of Dressrosa, but we're right back in the mix of Dressrosa with nothing involving Kaido or Sanji for that matter. And so you're going from a 10 to essentially a 3 or a 4. I mean, granted, Sengoku's there, and that's kind of cool, but it's not like, oh shit, Sengoku, woo! Like, no, it's not. Because we're right back in the midst of Dressrosa. And it wouldn't be such a big deal if Dressrosa wasn't such a fucking long arc. And truth be told, Dressrosa is littered with these type of moments, where it's hype, and then, so, hype, 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 like, it's constant. Another example of this is when you have Luffy Gear 4. You have 2 consistently good chapters, and then after Luffy's Gear 4 is done, what happens? We have like probably a month of fucking Gat speeching, and we're like, nigga, like what? Like what? Like we still on this shit with Gats? Like, it was constant. You had Gats, you had King Riku, you had, oh, stop the birdcage. It's like, oh, like, and it really takes you off the emotional, of the hype, of the expectations. It really throws you off. So, what I think I'll wrap it up with is, you can't say that from an overall arc standpoint, Dressrosa is as good as, let's say, Shibuya Archipelago, or Marine Ford, or Impel Down, or Enies Lobby. Those arcs were consistently good and great from an emotional expectation standpoint. You had like consistency between a 7 and a 10. And sometimes he'd plateau, sometimes he'd go down a little bit, sometimes he'd go up a little bit, but it was consistently great when it came to those arcs. You didn't have these blimps of, oh shit, god damn it, we're spending 3 weeks on speeches again. Like no, you did not have that. And again, you'd be hard pressed to find someone earnestly believe that Dressrosa is as good of an arc as those arcs. What you could say is Luffy going Gear 4 was awesome within Dressrosa. Okay, yeah, fine, that was amazing. Probably one of the best scenes in One Piece. But as the overall arc of Dressrosa, no, you can't vouch for the overall arc itself. You can vouch for moments within the arc, but you can't vouch for the overall arc itself. You can easily vouch for Whitebeard War being the best arc in One Piece. You can easily vouch for Shibuya Archipelago, for Impel Down, for Enies Lobby. You can easily vouch for these arcs, but you can't do it for Dressrosa, or you'll be hard-pressed to actually do it. Just saying. So, overall chapter, alright? This chapter, I think, is a pretty good chapter because it did make significant progress within the arc of Dressrosa. So overall chapter rating, I'm gonna give it a good. I'll leave it at that. So King Lightning, give me your thoughts. I mean, if I missed something, if I didn't really go about explaining it well, let me know. And if you have your own take on it, obviously let me know. So King Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice goddamn day.